for all the best basketball within the division versus a team that is looking to show the committee and the Central Coast that they deserve more consideration as the best team within this bracket. Good evening, everybody. Alongside Carlo Jimenez, I'm Spencer McLaughlin, coming to you live from the campus of Fremont High School, the host site of the 2019 Division I semifinals, as the number 1 seed Piedmont Hills Pirates take on the number 4 seed Cupertino Pioneers, right here on YouTube Live and the Central Coast Sports Broadcasting Network. For first-year head coach Tim Ewers, his Piedmont squad is 1 game away from a return trip to the D1 Finals. Carlo, this is a team that graduated nearly 75% of its scoring from a year ago, but here they are once again knocking on the door of another D1 championship appearance. I don't think there are many that saw a season like this coming for the Pirates.
Yeah, it's just a testament really to the system that Tim Ewers runs here at Piedmont High School, able to just insert whomever and have his guys work, play hard for him, and continue to be successful. So a really good job there by Tim Ewers, a really young coach. Talked to him earlier in the year. He had graduated Piedmont Hills just a couple years ago and now successful as a basketball coach. So you love to see the alumni coming back in a great system here for the Pirates.
And for the number 4 seed Cupertino Pioneers, they are also having a breakout season following back-to-back 500 finishes in league play. Carlo, they've earned the 4 seed in this Division I playoff bracket, which is a huge achievement for a program that was really in the middle of the pack the last couple of years. Do you think that being the underdog in this game is an advantage for head coach Craig Elgood and his Cupertino squad?
I mean, it's always an advantage to play that underdog. You have the pressure off. You kind of know nobody's out here expecting you to win except yourself. And so what that allows you to do, it allows you to play freely, play aggressive, and have a lot does not really hurt a team's confidence coming into this game. And so we'll see if we see Cupertino jump out to a lead early, playing aggressive on the opening tip.
The last time these two teams met in this type of postseason game was in 2016 in the Division I championship game, where the winner will move on to on Saturday afternoon. Piedmont Hills won that contest back in 2016 by a score of 43 to just 29 for Cupertino, who certainly will be looking to deliver a better offensive performance here tonight. We'll see if history repeats itself or if a new page is written here tonight from the campus of Fremont High School. I'm Spencer McLaughlin alongside Carlo Jimenez, and this is a Central Coast Sports broadcasting production of Game Night, coming to you on YouTube Live. Tip-off is just under 19 minutes away. And the recent scores for both teams, Piedmont Hills coming off a decisive victory over Los Altos, 58 Bantugnan, to lead the way for the Pirates in their defeat of Los Altos. For Cupertino, they're coming off a win over Salinas, a little bit more of a low-scoring affair as they came away with a 42-29 victory, allowing just 29 points. Carlo, that's a defensive effort that Coach Elgood would love to replicate here tonight.
Yeah, defense is always something that you can rely on for this Cupertino team. They've been doing it all year. That's why they're in this 4th seed and able to reach this semifinal game. You're listening to the Central Coast Sports Broadcasting pregame show. We want to give a shout-out to our sponsors, BSN Sports, since 1972, your ultimate leader of team sports apparel and equipment in the U.S. Call John Gillette for more information at 408-209-6433. And let's jump into our Gonzales Irrigation game-changing three-pointer since 1985. Let Gonzales Irrigation Systems provide design, installation, parts, and service for all your berry, row crop, orchard, and vineyard needs, including sprinklers, filters, meters, and booster pumps. And GIS proudly offers Netafim irrigation products. Contact GIS 831-675-2376.
Well, we'll get into those game-changing three-pointers for Piedmont Hills, coming in second place in the BVAL, second only to Mount Hamilton, the top team in the conference. They might be the hottest team in these Division I bracket playoffs. They've won 7 consecutive games, now facing the third-place team from the SCVAL in Cupertino. Do you think that more nerves and pressure come with facing an opponent from what's considered a superior league like the SCVAL?
I think that's definitely part of it. You're looking at a Piedmont Hills team that ever since losing to Leland hasn't really had any good competition in terms of a close game, and them being behind for a lot of this game, including in this playoffs. So watch for Piedmont. If they fall behind, that's going to be unfamiliar territory for these Pirates, and we'll see how Tim Ewer's team responds.
And for Cupertino, they come in at 16-9, going 8-4 in league play in the Santa Clara Valley De Division. Third place in the SCVAL. They had a season-ending loss to Los Gatos, which really hurt their chances for a second-place finish. Do the Pioneers sort of see themselves as a better basketball team than Piedmont Hills because of their own strength of schedule?
Yeah, and I think that's a real advantage for this Cupertino team. You come in with the chip on your shoulder, ranked at number 4, and you look across the court, and you see yourself easily as good as being that number 1 seed. And so now, not only are you trying to win to get to the championship, but you're trying to win and prove to the committee that Cupertino should be a top-ranked team in CCS. And
a head-to-head note between these two teams. In the SCVAL De Anza, 3 teams from that division remain, and from the BVAL Mount Hamilton, 3 teams remain as well. Both league commissioners have to be very pleased with the performance that their teams have got so far making these playoff runs.
Yeah, you always love to see when your conference does well. Not only is that going to help you this year, but in future years in terms of seeding for both teams, CCS will look and say, well, look, BVAL had 3 teams at the semifinal round. De Anza had 3 teams. These are teams who play strong conferences, and so that should help seeding in the future for everyone in those leagues.
And you're listening to the Central Coast Sports Broadcasting pregame show. That was our game-changing 3-pointers brought to you by Gonzales Irrigation, serving the Monterey, San Benito, Santa Cruz, and Santa Clara counties. Time now to jump in to our X's and O's segment, brought to you by Coastal Grower Magazine, a local favorite for people in the agricultural industry and those involved with the ag business here on the Central Coast. Visit them at www.coastalgrowermag.com. That's www.coastalgrowermag.com. And for those X's and O's, we'll start with Piedmont. You know, offensively, you got to think that getting out in transition and running the floor on defense as well, but especially on offense, could be a big boost for them tonight.
Yeah, we talked about how good Cupertino was on the defensive end, and so the best way to beat a good defense is to not let them get set up. And so if you run the floor in transition, even off made buckets, you're able to beat the defense down the court and get easy layups on the other end.
And for Cupertino, we alluded to their defense earlier. They're not such a cold team themselves. They've come in having won 4 of their last 5, including the 42-29 victory over Salinas. And, you know, obviously defense a focal point for them in that game. And tonight, you got to think if their defense is going to have a similar level of success against the superior Piedmont Hills squad, they're going to have to really control the tempo of the game.
Yeah, control the tempo, bring the ball up slow. You got a lot of guards out here on the Cupertino team who can handle easily, so relieve pressure offensively and use 20-25 seconds of the long 35-second shot clock here in high school on the offensive end.
Well, that's our X's and O's segment, sponsored by Coastal Grower Magazine. Want to give a shout out to another sponsor, Vulcan Materials, the nation's largest producer of gravel, sand, and crushed stone. To keep up with this growing economy, for more information, go to www.vulcanmaterials.com. Well, we're just about under 13 minutes left here until what we believe will be the national anthem and announcement of the starting lineup. So, Carlo, looking around the CCS, we, of course, were calling the game last night over at Independence High School where Reardon fell in a thriller to Bellarmine. Bellarmine will move on to play Sacred Heart Cathedral. Tomorrow we'll have that broadcast for you as well right here on CCS. But let's go back to that game, kind of break it down a little bit and what you saw from that game in Bellarmine.
Yeah, the Bells really uncharacteristic win in terms of how they did it, dominating the paint area. We mentioned the 34 points in the paint and great team basketball by Coach Schneider. Great testament to their program. 9 of their 10 guys who played put up points on the scoreboard, and I think that's big, and that's something the rest of the league rest of CCS can look around and try to replicate. You're looking at a Reardon team that had beaten Bellarmine twice earlier in the year handedly, but the Bells come out and just play better team basketball, and at the end of the day, that's going to get the win.
And sometimes that's all it takes. I mean, you look at the March Madness tournament last year, and Loyola Chicago, they weren't really led by one guy specifically. They had a big guy whose name I'm forgetting, but he was effective. But really they came in, as the 11 seed, of course, ended up making it to the Final Four. But really, it was just team-oriented basketball. It wasn't, focusing on a star or, playing a hot hand. It was really just well-executed, well-run basketball, and that was really able to get the job done for him last year.
And when you look at both these teams and we look at leading scorers, it's pretty spread out both ways. You look at Cupertino, guys like John Duan and Jack Townsend, some of the two leading scorers, but nobody averaging more than 15 points a game for either team. And so we'll see if it's the stars tonight for Cupertino and Piedmont Hills, or once again, it's team basketball here in CCS.
And you mentioned no one averaging more than 15 points a game, but for Cupertino, it's even less. Their leading scorer is Jack Townsend at 12 points a game. In a playoff atmosphere like this, where obviously, it's win or go home for this particular divisional bracket, how important is it for a leading scorer to kind of help bring some calm to his offense in the early going?
Yeah, I think it's very important, especially as you mentioned, the early going. Getting those first couple of buckets right out the gate kind of relaxes everyone else around you and gives them the confidence to go to the hole and try to get some points on their own. And so I think it's important for guys like Townsend and for Cupertino to get going offensively early to allow his rest of his team to have opportunities to score.
One thing I'm noticing as I'm taking in this Fremont High School gym for the first time, it's not a very big gym at all. There's limited bleacher space, but the other thing, this is a very, very low ceiling. I mean, yesterday at Independence, the ceiling was up much, much higher, so the shouts and the noise that's coming from the stands is not as likely, or it can't bounce off the ceiling as easily and come straight back down. You think maybe that could be a factor tonight?
I think 100% that could be a factor. One thing to note also, when you have a lower gym, and as we saw in our Los Gatos Palo Alto game, Spencer, earlier in the year, the intensity seems to pick up a little bit on the court. It's a lot louder down on the court. Fans are right on the sideline. As you mentioned, you can hear everything from the sideline. And you already have the intensity of this being a CCS semifinal game, and the small gym just makes it that much bigger of a game here tonight.
There's just nowhere for the sound to go, any type of sound, pounding on the bleachers, parents calling out for their kids to do, various plays and whatever. It all gets magnified. So we'll see if maybe in the early going, if Piedmont Hills does try to get out and run offensively, if they're kind of, almost too hurried by the pressure of the situation and, the noise and the chaos and everything, if they start to get in a little bit too much of a hurry and maybe commit a few early turnovers.
Whether it be Piedmont Hills running the court or Cupertino slowing it down, and also who looks more comfortable here in the semifinal. Piedmont Hills, of course, on that revenge tour, losing last year in the championship to a storied Los Gatos team in Division I. And so they're playing not only to win here tonight, but they're looking ahead to that championship game, while Cupertino is still trying to prove themselves as a young program.
And Cupertino, as you just alluded to, something interesting to note when we're going through, kind of our stats and prep for this game, they really only play 7 guys. I mean, you'll see high school teams a lot, at least for a few minutes a game, rotate 8, 9, sometimes even 10, depending on matchups and game flow. But this is a Cupertino squad that really sticks to just kind of a core 7.
Yeah, and I think that early in the season can be seen as a disadvantage because you get guys who are winded and exhausted. But towards the end, everybody's in shape here for both teams. So it's not going to be a problem whether those 7 guys can play the whole game. They've done it all year. And Piedmont Hills likes to rotate a little bit more than Cupertino. They'll play about 8 or 9. But it's very important. We saw it last night. Bellarmine played 10 guys, 9 of them score. Cupertino's probably going to only play 7, which means everybody has to play well out of those 7.
Right.
And that just makes it all the more difficult.
It does. And going back to that game last night in which Reardon fell, you think the bench was certainly an advantage, not only because it's late in the season and guys' legs are tired, but just over the course of any game, it can help to have depth because it really looked like Reardon, who on paper was probably the better team. They'd already beaten Bellarmine twice by double digits, but it looked like in the second half they just kind of ran out of steam, and guys not named Bryce Monroe couldn't get it going from the floor. And, you know, having that smaller rotation or less guys that you're dependent on, it was probably a big reason they didn't come away with a victory.
Yeah, 100%. Another thing about bench points, not only are they great points to have, but they kind of rally up your starters and your guys who usually play. When guys who are 6th, 8th, 7th guys off the bench are getting points for your team who usually don't score, not only is that going to be big on the scoreboard, but that's big for momentum when you're getting everybody involved.
Yeah, I mean, there are a few things in sports that get people going, quite like bench players coming in and having an instant impact. And we saw a number of Bellarmine players do that last night as they will take on Sacred Heart Cathedral tomorrow night at 8:30 p.m. up at Santa Clara University. We'll have that call for you right here on the Central Coast Sports Broadcasting Network as those two teams play for the Open Division title. But tonight we are in Division 1. Earlier, just before these teams took the court, it was Palo Alto defeating Carlmont, and they will advance to a to-be-determined side. This is what we're seeing on the schedule right here, but they will play in the Division 1 championship. What is your mindset if you're Palo Alto? You know, do you watch this game? Do you not watch? What are you thinking?
If I'm Palo Alto, I'm 100% having my guys watch this game. You get a chance playing early, which is a huge advantage to watch which team you're going to play, and you get to watch them for a whole game. Piedmont Hills or Cupertino is going to have to go back to practice tomorrow, watch some film, and then get a feeling, versus Palo Alto's going to bed tonight knowing who they're going to face and watching this game in front of them. So it should be interesting. Palo Alto should definitely be in the stands here tonight, and we'll see what strategies they're able to draw up for the D1 championship game.
Well, for Cupertino, once again, it seems like we're focusing on them quite a bit, but there's a lot to talk about there. So they come off just 42-point performance. Now their defense carried them to that victory, allowing just 29, but they averaged 47% on the year and 44% from the floor. They were under both of those season averages in their previous game, which was a win. But mentally, how do your players bounce back after an offensive performance that they know that it wasn't their best?
Yeah, and I think still able to get that win, even though you shoot under average, is a huge confidence boost for this team. And also, teams definitely seem to shoot better coming off a game where they didn't shoot well rather than continuing to ride that hot streak. So for Cupertino, you're coming off a slow shooting night. Try to make the buckets easy in the beginning of the game. Look for layups, look for easy floaters inside rather than trying for 3 balls towards the beginning. Get guys going and then look for those long bombs and momentum changers.
And switching over to Piedmont Hills now, we mentioned earlier they might be one of the hottest teams in this division. They come in as the #1 seed. They've won 7 consecutive games. They've ridden that to a 21-4 overall record, including 11-3 in league play, coming off, of course, the 58-39 win versus Los Altos. If you're head coach Tim Ewers for this Piedmont Hills squad, how do you not get your guys to be overconfident knowing that they've won 7 consecutive games?
I think you just remind them of last year. Hey, guys, we were amazing last year. We only lost 2 games, but we couldn't seal the deal in the CCS D1 championship. We're on a mission here this year for revenge. And I think you remind your team of that. And we're not saying, look, we're riding high, just keep doing what you're doing, but we have something to prove even though we're the #1 seed.
And we'll see if they're able to get it done tonight. We're about 2 minutes and 20 seconds away now from what we think will be the national anthem and announcement of the starting lineups. And Piedmont Hills right now, I haven't seen a high school team do this in a while. So they're doing team free throws. They're all kind of huddled in one spot. So it looks like there's about 50 of them on the court right now. But they're doing team free throws. Each guy shoots one clap for a miss, 2 claps for a make. That was a drill that I did with my teams usually in practice in high school, but not during the game. What do you make of that type of a warm-up?
Well, we saw here earlier when we came on the air, it was a little bit of a longer warm-up period. You got 20 minutes rather than the regular 15. So you wonder if Coach Tim Ewers just started to throw out something he usually doesn't do in the warm-up, but everybody makes the free throws for Piedmont Hills as both teams come to their bench and we get ready for this one.
And we have got 90 seconds on the clock. It looks like they're getting set to announce the starting lineups, and we don't have them ahead of time, but going through just the raw stats here for Cupertino, there's a couple of guys who are obviously going to be in there. Jack Townsend, the leading scorer for this squad. He's a 5'10 junior, averaging 12 points, 3.5 rebounds, just under 3 assists a game, shooting at 45% from the floor. And Carlo, you alluded to the fact that he likes to do a lot of his damage inside.
Yeah, he does. He shoots only about 25% from outside the arc and 49% from inside the arc. So a very proficient shooter inside the arc, able to get to the rim and finish in that mid-range game, which is kind of a lost art here in basketball. And so that will be interesting to watch here tonight.
It really will be. I mean, you hit on it. The mid-range game, especially in the NBA, it's basically dead right now. I mean, it's just analytically not the most efficient shot because it's hard to make and it's only worth 2. You might as well step back and fire the 3. But in high school, you think it has more of a prevalence because, these kids are not yet prolific three-point shooters?
100%. You usually see about 1 or 2 kids who can hit threes consistently from distance. So the mid-range game, a little bit of a shorter shot and a lot easier to make for these teams.
Well, one of those guys for Piedmont Hills who can knock down the 3 ball is senior Jalen Bantugden. No word if he's going to be starting yet. It doesn't look like he's going to be, but in their win over Los Altos, he had 9 points, all of them coming from beyond the arc. He could be one of those bench spark guys that you alluded to earlier.
Yeah, guys who really are key pieces of championship teams, guys who can come off the bench and give you points when you need momentum and energy. And so we'll look for him to have a big night tonight. Also look for Cupertino to be denying the ball and not allowing him to get those opportunities offensively.
Well, they are getting the complete lineups right now before we get into the starting lineups, which will be announced here momentarily, and then probably followed by the national anthem and then the start of the game. What are the keys do you have to the game? Just talking about, coming into a winner-go-home, what are the little things that you look for in a crucial winner-go-home game like this?
Yeah, for Cupertino, a team that didn't really shoot well last game, make it easier for yourself offensively. You got 35 seconds on the shot clock. Move the ball around. Get great looks, not good looks. And for Piedmont Hills on the offensive end, you want to push. We saw it last night. Reardon getting out in transition ahead of the Bellarmine defense off made baskets. And I think if you're Piedmont Hills, try to do the same thing. Inbound quick, sprint down the court, and try to get to the rim.
Well, we are now getting the starting lineups for each side, starting with the number 4 seed Cupertino Pioneers. At guard, it is a 5'9 senior, number 2, Skylar Santos. He's averaging just over 8 points a game on the year. He will be joined, of course, in the backcourt by Jack Townsend and John Dewan. Jack Townsend, a 5'10 junior, leading this team in scoring at 12 points a game, 3.5 rebounds, and just under 3 assists as well. Really a do-it-all kind of guy for Cupertino. John Dewan, a 5'11 senior, averaging 11 points a game. That's second on this Cupertino squad. Also, Rohit Devdar, who is scoring, who's just kind of a utility guy, averages 2.7 rebounds a game, just 2.2 points, but also averages 1.2 steals a game. It seems like every starting fives always has one of those glue guys.
Yeah, somebody who really you can just rely. You're comfortable and you can breathe easily when the ball's in his hands and know what he's going to give you night in and night out. And once again, key pieces and important pieces of championship team.
And rounding out the starting 5 for Cupertino is going to be the 6'3 senior Richard Yang, who's scoring just under 9 points a game and 4 rebounds, also 1.5 blocks a game. That is the top mark for this Cupertino squad. For Piedmont Hills Pirates, the number 1 seed in this Division I CCS playoff bracket, it's going to be Caiaphas Arduin, the 5'11 senior, second year playing on varsity. He'll be joined in the backcourt by another senior, 5'9 Brandon Lowe, who averaged 5.3 points a game and just under 5 assists a year ago, back for his senior season, of course, since high school players just about never leave early. Andrew Lay, a 5'9 junior, will be in the front court. Isaac Teferi, who had a team-high 12 points a game ago against Los Altos. And Steven Tran will round out the starting five. He is a 6'1 senior who had 8 points last time out. Cupertino is in their maroon jerseys with white numbering, white jerseys with kind of a mountaintop for Piedmont Hills. And we are underway here from Fremont High School, and it is Cupertino with the basketball. They'll push right to left. Townsend handles for the Pioneers. Cupertino, working the ball around the perimeter. Here's Townsend, drives down the right side, flips it up, right-handed off the glass, it's good. First bucket of the game is to Jack Townsend, the leading scorer for Cupertino, and here comes Piedmont Hills racing left to right, looking to answer. Here's a three-pointer, top of the key, and it's good. That's Isaac Teferi. He had 12 points a game ago, and with 30 seconds gone by here in the first quarter, 3-2 with Piedmont out to the early lead. Left wing now. This is Santos looking, probing in the near corner, finds Devdat. Now in the near corner, this is Dwan. Pulls it back out, and Cupertino working it around the perimeter against a harassing Piedmont defense. Santos rifles the fall corner. Devdar, right block layup is long, missed the iron completely. Rebound Piedmont Hills. They're pushing left to right, looking to build on a 1-point lead.
And just a missed bunny there from Devdar, wide open down low, unable to put it down.
Brandon Lowe initiates the offense for Piedmont Hills, moving left to right, up 3-2. Rifles a pass down low. This is Tran, right block, pump fake, goes up, swatted out of bounds by Yang. I mentioned a moment ago, he averages 1.5 a game. That's the top mark on the team, and he gets it done right there. It'll stay Piedmont Hills basketball.
Yeah, disrupting the inside is going to be big for this Cupertino team, and that sends a statement early.
Teferi gets it into Tran at the right block as Piedmont Hills resets. 13 to shoot with Lowe handling up at the top of the key. Now it's Tran, left wing, lobs it down low, knocked away by Santos, but it comes to Teferi with 5, drives down the right side, flips it up, right-handed off the glass, it's good. Isaac Teferi's got all 5 points for Piedmont Hills, 5-2 with 90 seconds gone by here in the first quarter.
Yeah, Teferi with 12 in their last game. He looks like he has not skipped a beat here in the semis.
Cupertino with it, moving right to left. This is Townsend, harassed up top by Arduin, and he had to give it up. Now it's Dwan in the left wing. Now works to the free throw line, puts up a jumper, hits off the side of the iron, rebound snatched out of the air by Arduin, and here comes Piedmont Hills left to right, looking to build on a 3-point lead. 2 minutes gone by here in the first quarter. Piedmont Hills has not trailed in this game. Here's Teferi in the left corner, now works it back up top, stops at the left elbow, and hands off to Arduin, who will pull it back out. Hesitate, waist-high dribble, drives down the left side, taken away by Santos. Here he comes, charging right to left for Cupertino, lays it in with the right hand.
Skylar Santos picked up his dribble about at the 3-point line, still able to get to the rim, and it's a 1-point lead for Piedmont.
Piedmont Hills looking to answer at the other end, moving left to right. They lead 5-4, 2.5 to play, or 2.5 gone by here in the first quarter. Up top, Teferi puts up a 3, puts it in. Isaac Teferi's got all 8 Piedmont Hills points. They lead 8-4, and head coach Craig Elgood and Cupertino are going to call time.
Shout out to Arnie von Mausenhausen of Home Service Lending. First-time home buyer or looking to refinance your current mortgage? Work with an experienced mortgage consultant to find a solution that best fits your needs. Call Arnie today at 408-858-4906, NMLS 280979.
So in the early going, it is Isaac Teferi 8 and Cupertino 4. He's just had it going from all over the place.
And you wonder if Cupertino is going to start denying him the ball. 8 points here early. He has been on fire, yet to miss one tonight, and 25. And just when he puts it up, it's a very high arcing shot, but he's walking back right as he puts it up. All the confidence in the world here early.
8-4, the early Piedmont Hills lead. Just over 2.5 gone by here in the first corner. Cupertino with the ball, moving right to left, looking to cut into the 4-point deficit. Risky pass is snatched out of the air by Santos from Townsend on the left wing, nearly taken away by Lowe, and now Cupertino works it around the perimeter. Townsend, right wing, now drifts up to the top, spins back, drives down the right side, back out to Devdar, who brings it up top once again, 10 to shoot. Townsend, right wing, left-handed, crossover, pull-up, long 2 on the far baseline. It's off the rim. Rebound to Elijah Washington, who checked into the game along with Francisco Garcia for Piedmont Hills. They've got the ball, the 8-4 lead as we approach 3.5 gone by here in the first quarter.
Garcia's a shooter. Look for him to be waiting at the three-point line for a three.
Low to Washington, left wing, puts up a three, puts it in. Elijah Washington coming off a 9-point performance. Cupertino wants time. Once again, Craig Elgood is livid with his squad.
Oh, he just called the timeouts, probably talked about, hey guys, we need to not allow these three-point buckets, and Piedmont Hills comes out and burns them with another one from distance, and they have just been able to take command. We mentioned how important it would be the first couple minutes of this game. What's the pace going to be? Who's going to take control? And Piedmont Hills has come out on a mission here in this first 3 minutes and 30 seconds.
And despite that success, going to the bench early there was head coach Tim Ewers for Piedmont Hills, but it's worked out for him so far. 11-4, Piedmont Hills over Cupertino. Cupertino will have the ball. 4.5 to play here in the first quarter from Fremont High School with a bid in the D1 CCS championship on the line. Townsend has got a bucket tonight. He handles moving right to left for Cupertino. Yang now finds the Devdar on the right wing, back to Townsend. Free throw line, pulls up, long two, and he cans the jumper. Jack Townsend with his second bucket of the night. He's got 4. It's a 5-point deficit, 11-6. Piedmont Hills with the lead and the ball.
Cupertino getting good looks on the offensive end, just unable to convert on a couple. Piedmont Hills with the lead.
Ardoin galloping down the lane, blocked out of bounds by Yang from the weak side. It'll stay Piedmont Hills basketball. But once again, Richard Yang with a phenomenal block.
Richard Yang with those long, lengthy arms has shut the door on Piedmont in terms of driving to the rim. And now let's see if the Pirates continue to go to that three-point line, knowing that it's going to be difficult to get anything inside the paint.
Teferi will inbound from the near baseline. He throws it all the way in the backcourt to Brandon Lowe, who handles. Plenty of time on the shot clock as Piedmont Hills moves left to right with a 5-point lead, setting up their offense. Here's Washington, right corner, puts up a three. It clanks off the heel. Rebounds being fought for in the far corner, comes away for Cupertino and John Dwan. They push right to left, trailing by 5. Devdar wanted no part of the three. Now they work it around the perimeter on the right side. Yang up top, back to Devdar. He's been given a lot of space. Up top, Dwan curls off, fires a long two from the top of the key. He can't hit it. Rebound low, and Piedmont Hills moves left to right, leading 11-6, 3.5 to play here in the first quarter.
Yeah, Teferi playing about 3 feet behind Devdar on the defensive end. They want him to shoot the ball.
Far corner, Teferi, pump fake, drifts right, puts up a three, bounces off the front of the iron and goes long. Rebound is fought for by, I couldn't tell who was going for it. It looks like it was Garcia, and they're going to say that it was a foul. The foul is going to go on Devdar of Cupertino. That's going to be his first, so Piedmont Hills will retain possession right there. Good effort on the glass by Garcia.
Yeah, Piedmont, the Pirates just look like they have the energy so far here early. Cupertino coming out a little flat-footed, yet to have really any momentum in the beginning in these first 5 minutes.
Teferi lobs it in the right wing to Garcia. Now Lowe handles up top with a fresh 35 for Piedmont Hills. Moving right to left. Washington, right wing, gallops into the lane, jump stop, and has the ball taken away. Cupertino with it, moving right to left. Here comes Townsend, but in no kind of hurry. Yang now has it up top. Cupertino works it around the perimeter. This is Santos on the left wing. Feeds Dwan. Thought about top. Here's Ardoin down the right side. Runs a man down. Puts up a floater. It's short. Rebound Cupertino and Santos moving right to left, and they slow it up once again.
So Ardoin looking to push off the miss, and that's what Piedmont wants to do. Get out in transition.
Santos drives the right side. Kicks out. Townsend. Right corner three. Got it. Jack Townsend with a triple that trims the deficit to 2. It's 11-9. Piedmont Hills with the ball, but their lead is now just a couple.
And Townsend might have been worthy of an and-one call on that one. Kind of got undercut at the end, and a big three-pointer cuts it to 2.
2 minutes to play here in the first quarter. Piedmont Hills has led by as much as 5, but that bucket by Townsend cut it to 2. 13 to shoot now as Garcia is cut off, gets it to Washington. Washington up top, not going anywhere, and head coach Tim Ewers is going to call timeout. It looks like it's going to be
it looked like there's a coach warning on Tim Ewers about being in the coach's box.
And that is good call there, Carla. That is exactly what happened. The official given a warning to the Piedmont Hills head coach. He's discussing with him right now as a substitution here for Piedmont Hills. It looks like Teferi is going to check out of the game. Or no, check that Garcia will check out of the game. Steven Tran A starter will check back in for Piedmont Hills. Teferi will inbound from half court. Lowe has it for Piedmont Hills, moving left to right, looking to build on a 2-point lead. Lowe with 4, drives down the right side, flips it up, right-handed off the glass, it's good.
A great adjustment by Lowe. Saw Richard Yang coming over for help and just flipped it high, as you mentioned, high off the glass, able to give Piedmont the 4-point lead.
Brandon Lowe, the bucket, 13-9, 90 seconds to play. Piedmont Hills with the lead. Cupertino with the ball. Here's Dewan, tries a right wing 3, rims around, and then it drops. John Dewan with the bucket that trims the deficit to 1. It's 13-12. Piedmont Hills the lead in the ball with 1:20 to play here in the first quarter. Piedmont Hills working around the perimeter. Right now it is Tran, now Washington on the right wing, the sophomore who played some big minutes in their win against Los Altos in their last game. He's got it again. Now hands back to Lowe. Not a lot of action. Washington right wing, and he traveled. Started to drive, working off of a flare screen, and he is called for steps. It looks like it was the right call.
Yeah, and watch for Cupertino to start to jump that flare. That's the second time they've run it with Washington. And so Tino might try to get up on top of that, intercept that, and go for buckets on transition.
Under a minute to play now. Cupertino with the ball, and they turn it over. Devdar couldn't handle the pass. Here's Piedmont Hills. Left wing 3 is long. That one's fired by Lowe. Defensive rebound, Cupertino. They push right to left. Chance to take the lead with a bucket. They trail by 1, 13-12.
After Teferi's huge explosion, Cupertino now opportunity to finish this quarter on top.
Townsend, right wing, between the legs dribble, hesitate, drives baseline, fades away from 10 feet, crawls over the front of the rim, it's off. Piedmont Hills the rebound and Low. They push left to right, and the shot clock has just a 4-second difference between the game clock right now. It should be turned off, and there it goes. So 20 seconds now. Piedmont Hills will hold for the final shot and likely take the lead into the second quarter. They lead 13-12. As we now approach 10 seconds. It's Lowe. He's going to get the screen from Tran. Drifts left. Now screens back. Moves right. Crossover at the elbow. Far corner for 3. This is Scott. He misses it long off the iron. Rebound is being tipped. Fought for. Santos has it. And no shot will get off. And that is how the first quarter will come to an end. Piedmont Hills 13. Cupertino 12. And Cupertino in that first quarter led by Jack Townsend.
Yeah, Jack Townsend able to mount the comeback. It was an 11-4 lead as we were looking at the clock with 4:30 to play. And Spencer, we were talking about how how important it is to take command in the beginning of the game. Cupertino responds with an 8-4 run to close the quarter out, and a great job an 8-2 run, to close out that first quarter as their hot streak continues in San Jose's hot country on 95.3 KRTY for the best today in country music, sports content, and fantastic concert series. KRTY has it all for you. Coming March 28th live from the City National Civic in San Jose. Brett Young, and on April 11th live at Club Rodeo, country artist Ashley McBride. For tickets information, go to their website, krty.com. And big shout out to our friend Kevin Moore, friend of Central Coast Sports Broadcasting and making a difference in our community. Thank you, Kevin Moore.
Start of the second quarter now, 13-12. Piedmont Hills, the 1-point lead over Cupertino. Central Coast Sports is your source for high school athletics all year long. Follow us as we take you right into the 2019 CCS playoffs. Would love to hear your thoughts or feedback. Drop us a line, ccsblive@gmail.com. You can also go to our website for more info, centralcoastsports.live. Piedmont Hills with the ball, moving left to right. They have a 1-point lead. Ardoin gallops on the right side, kicks out. Near corner, this is Lay. He drives into the lane, has it stripped, taken away by Santos, and Cupertino once again not wanting to push. Cupertino trails by 1, chance to take their first lead in quite some time. They handle with Townsend. Santos, top of the key, fires a 2. It clanks off the side of the iron. Rebound tipped out of bounds. It's going to be Piedmont Hills basketball, and they will have a chance to move left to right and build on a 1-point lead.
And we talked about Cupertino possibly trying to work their offense from mid-range, and they have just been unable to find anything from about 10 feet outside in terms of scoring. So we'll see if they continue to get to work it into the mid-range.
Ardoin, left wing, drives to the free throw line, now kicks to Lay. Lay drives to the free throw line, spins right, lost the ball. It's going to be out of bounds. They're going to say off of Cupertino, so it'll stay Piedmont Hills basketball.
20 to shoot here for Piedmont Hills. After the last underneath out of bounds, they're able to get a 3 for Teferi, and we'll see if it's the same play here.
Teferi will take it out from the far baseline. looking for a man. They tried to set up the underneath play to lay. Got to get it in. Now he does to Tran, who works it back up top to Low. Plenty of time on the shot clock. Piedmont Hills, the 1-point lead. They've not scored here in the second quarter. Low, crossover, kick out, Ardoin, left wing, hesitate, drive, down the right side, splits a double team, hangs in the air and kisses it off the glass.
Oh, Ardoin was not scared at all after those Richard Gang for 2 blocks in the beginning of the first quarter. He has continued to drive and drive with success.
He has given Piedmont Hills a 3-point lead, 15-12, over a minute gone by now here in the second quarter from Fremont High School. Santos curls off, long 2 from the top of the key is off. Rebound to Ferry for Piedmont Hills. They move left to right, leading by 3. 90 seconds gone by here in the first quarter.
Another great look for Cupertino, just unable to connect on the jumper from about 17.
Ball whips around the perimeter in the near corner. It's Lay for Piedmont Hills. He probes to the center and now kicks back up top to Low. Low drifts to the right side. Checked by Santos. Cut off. Drives. Spins. He's cut off again. Has to bounce it to Tran. 10 to shoot now. It's Ardoin with 8. He's going to go against Dwan. Drives left. Tries to kick it to Teferi. It's going to be out of bounds and a turnover for Piedmont Hills.
And Cupertino, been playing great defense, has made Piedmont Hills work for every opportunity so far here in the second quarter. The one layup by Ardoin, their only bucket through the first 2 minutes, and he had to weave through a couple Cupertino defenders.
Cupertino with the ball, trailing by 3, 15-12, moving right to left. Here's Townsend, right wing, rip through. Thought about pulling up, is knocked away by Ardoin. Teferi saves it, and now Piedmont Hills forces a turnover of their own. They control, moving left to right, looking to build on a 3-point lead. Just over 2 minutes gone by here in the second quarter. Piedmont Hills has led for about the last 8 minutes of action. Ardoin has it right wing, feeds Lay, curling off, drives down the right side, splits a double team, almost blocked by Yang. Offensive rebound by Tran, but it goes back up and in with Andrew Lay fighting persistently for his own shot. It's a 5-point lead for Piedmont Hills, 17-12. Just over 2.5 gone by here in the second quarter. This is tied for their largest lead of the night. Yang, left wing, long 2. It doesn't go. Rebound skied for by Low. He pushes left to right for Piedmont Hills. They can take their largest lead of the game.
Talked about bench energy. Andrew Lay has been the epitome of that so far, working for everything on the offensive glass.
Ardoin, left wing, hesitation dribble, hands off to Lay, who lost it for a moment. He ran it down now. Now crosses over, drives left, and he's cut off, kicks it back out to Teferi. 10 seconds to shoot now on the shot clock for Low. Up top, knee-high dribble. He's probing, in and out dribble, drives right, hops in the lane, throws it up with the right hand, barely crawls off the front of the rim short, but offensive rebound, Piedmont Hills. Tran tracked down that offensive rebound, and Piedmont Hills now with the opportunity to reset. 4.5 to play here in the second quarter, 17-12, the lead.
Cupertino playing good defense, but can they close out possessions on the glass?
Tran in the far corner, drives in the lane, kicks out Ardoin, top of the key for 3. It's short. Rebound fought for by Tran, but it's going to be out of bounds. Cupertino basketball, as we now get a couple of subs. Garcia and it looks like that's Washington checking in as well. And the first time we'll see Cameron Navalta, the junior, for Piedmont Hills, who come with a full court pressure, leading by 5.
The press was able to cause a turnover earlier in the corner. Let's see if they get the same result for Piedmont Hills.
Devdar rifles it far court, to Sant, top to Dwan. His pass is tipped, snatched out of the air by Santos. Here's Devdar, and he drove from the left wing and traveled. Rahit Devdar with the turnover. So you alluded to it, Carlos. The press, the zone pressure that recedes into a half-court zone is causing problems.
Hey, you cannot let any offense be comfortable in their sets, and Piedmont Hills has done a terrific job so far. Cupertino looking a little frantic offensively, rushing shots early in the shot clock, and as we see the turnover there by Rohit, just moving the feet before he put the ball down.
3:35 to play in the first half. Washington, top of the key, tries a 3. That's off the heel. Offensive rebound and put back up and in by Navalta, the junior who just checked in. And once again, Craig Elgood, wants time for his Cupertino Pioneers.
Yeah, and I think he's going to talk about that flare screen they just got for Washington. They've run that play now 3 times, Spencer, and still Cupertino's been beat on it every single time. Looking for a fresh, rich Sicilian-style pizza? Check out Pomodoro Pizza at 6932 Almaden Expressway, San Jose. For your ultimate pizza experience, stop by today. And for more than 4 decades, no construction company ranks higher in award-winning projects such as schools, nonprofits, and high-tech campuses, enhancing and enriching our community. Look no further than Block Construction. For more information, go to www.block.com.
Am I looking for a rich Sicilian-style pizza? I'm just looking for pizza. I mean, is there ever a time when pizza doesn't sound good?
No.
I love cold pizza in the morning. It really is fantastic. Have you had it? Have you had it before?
I'm not a huge cold pizza fan.
Oh, dude, you have to. It's the best. You don't have the hot mess of eating pizza. It's clean, it's efficient, but you still get the great taste of pizza.
I'll take your word.
It's phenomenal. Game reset here, 19-12. Piedmont Hills with the lead over Cupertino. 3:30 to play here in the first half. Cupertino has not held a lead in the second quarter. They haven't held a lead since about the 5-minute mark in the first quarter, so it has been some time. Piedmont Hills has controlled this game. Cupertino with the ball, moving right to left as they work it around. Corner, Santos, he thought about a three, now moves it to the left wing to Townsend, back to Sandel. Now he tries the left corner three, hits off the side of the backboard and goes out of bounds. And as Santos jogs by the Piedmont Hills bench, he hears it from the players.
Yeah, and it has been 5 minutes and 44 seconds here in the second quarter, and Cupertino has yet to put a point on the board. It's a 6-0 run so far for Piedmont Hills, and we talk about a team that has to do it defensively. You also got to score on the offensive end.
Well, Piedmont Hills with the ball, moving left to right, approaching 3 minutes to play here in the second quarter. They lead 19-12. Washington curls off top of the key, tries another triple, it rims off. Rebound Santos, and Cupertino will push right to left. Chance to cut into the 7-point Piedmont Hills lead.
And Washington seems like he's got the green light whenever he touches the ball. Only 1 for 4 so far tonight.
Elijah Washington, just a sophomore, but showing no signs of any lack of confidence. Here's DeJuan, right wing, drives down the right side, teardrop up off the glass, but it crawls over the rim and off. Rebound Washington, Piedmont Hills with it. 2.5 to play here in the second quarter. They lead by 7, and they've got the ball, a chance once again to get their biggest lead of the night. 7 points has been the biggest lead. Low crossover, drives down the left side, swatted out of the air by Yang. Here comes Cupertino with Devdar, and they will slow it up, but that is the third block tonight for Richard Yang.
Richard Yang has been disruptive all night inside. I think only 2 of the 19 for Piedmont Hills have come from the paint, and that's credit to number 23.
Townsend on the right wing fades away from 12 feet, and he connects on the jumper. Jack Townsend stops a long scoring drought for Cupertino. That's their first bucket of the the second quarter, 2 minutes to play now in that quarter, 19-14. The deficit is trimmed to 5. Piedmont Hills with the ball, working at the near end. Washington thought about the right wing three, now throws to Teferi, tries a long top of the key three. It bounces off the heel. Rebound chased down in the far corner there by Santos. Cupertino with it now, moving right to left. Chance to cut into a 5-point deficit. About 90 seconds to play here in the first half. Townsend drifts to the top of the key, pulls up, steps in. Long two. It is long. Rebound comes out to Ardoin, who checked back into the game a moment ago for Piedmont Hills. They control, moving left to right. 1:20 to play now in the second quarter. They lead by 5.
Yeah, and look, the Pirates have gotten a little 3-happy here in this second quarter, and it's hurt them trying to take a larger lead as Townsend and it looks like Ardoin fighting for that ball over there. Comes up with a jump.
Well, you talked about taking. Townsend just took that ball right away from Brandon Lowe. It was a jump ball as they went to a scrum on the floor. Possession arrow favors Cupertino, so the Pioneers able to force a turnover.
And Cupertino, after a slow start, with a big opportunity here, could come out of the half just down a possession.
1 minute to play now, 19-14. DeJuan, top of the key, tries a triple. It's long. Off the heel, long rebound comes to the top of the key to Yang, and Cupertino gets a fresh 30. Cupertino now working around the perimeter. Devdar tries to kick in the near corner. Washington got a hand on it, he takes it away. He's charging the other way, and they're going to say he stepped out of bounds as he ran the ball down on the sideline. Tough break there from Piedmont Hills, but you got to love the hustle from the sophomore.
Yeah, Washington has been not afraid to shoot and has played like a senior so far in this CCS game as Piedmont Hills gets a couple subs. And once again, opportunity here for Cupertino, trading the lead down, make it a one-possession game going into the half after the sluggish start. Only had a total of 8 points so far in the second quarter.
Townsend with it now for Cupertino. They got a fresh 35, so not in any kind of hurry. They move right to left, trailing 19-14 here in the first half. Townsend, left wing, rips through, gets to the left block, cut off, turns around and throws it nearly into the backcourt, run down by Santos, and now Dewan handles. 15 to shoot for Cupertino. Yang to Dewan, right wing, steps in, 15-footer, he got it. John Dewan with the jumper, it trims the deficit to 3. It's a little 4-0 spurt for Cupertino here in the last couple minutes. They're down now by just 3. 10 seconds now. It's going to be Low. In and out dribbled. Attacks the left side. Flips it up off the glass. No good with the left hand. Here comes Townsend. 2 seconds. 1 second. Townsend got to go up. Puts up a floater 3. And it's short. Barely grazes the backboard. That is how the first half will come to an end.
And Richard Yang contesting that last shot, came down awkwardly on that ankle. That is not a good sign if you're a Cupertino fan, as he limps back into the locker room. But what a tale of 2 quarters here, Spencer. We had a 13-12 game, and we only saw a total of about 10 points in that second quarter. And now it became a far more defensive game. For more than 4 decades, no construction company ranks higher in award-winning projects such as schools, nonprofits, and high-tech campuses, enhancing and enriching our community. Look no further than Block Construction. For more information, visit www.block.com. And stay tuned, ladies and gentlemen, for the Central Coast Sports Halftime Show. Halftime Spotlight coming up. We'll talk about the CCS playoff bracket, some big games coming up this weekend, championship weekend, all coming up on the Central Coast Sports Halftime Show. And don't miss our next CCS broadcast, number 3 for us, Spencer. Tomorrow we will be at Santa Clara University. 8:15 will be on the airwaves, and it will be a good one. Sacred Heart Cathedral, the Cinderella story 8th seed, will go up against Bellarmine in their appearing in their third straight CCS Open Division Championship game.
And my traffic commute for that game is not going to be very far. It's about a 5-minute walk from my apartment, so that'll be easier for me. I don't know about you, but you got to figure out man. You get yourself there however you need to. But we will have the call for you. Carlo will be back on play-by-play, and I will be on color. But we are at the half, 19-16. Piedmont Hills the 3-point lead over Cupertino with a spot in the Division I championship game on the line, which will be played on Saturday afternoon. Time now for the halftime spotlight, brought to you by Block Construction, donating countless amounts of money and volunteer hours to provide critical services to charities and people in need. Visit their website at block.com. And also, Arnie von Massenhausen of Home Services Lending. With Arnie, you are a customer for life. Let his products, programs, and services protect your largest asset, your home. For your financing needs, call Arnie today at 408-858-4906.
We're nearing the end of the 2019 playoffs. Semifinal actions separates the men from the boys, and the open division is set at the championship. Spencer and I will take you around the horn. We'll talk about that open division championship and preview the championship for this Division I between Palo Alto and the winner of this game tonight.
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, when you look at the game, you've got Sacred Heart Cathedral, certainly not a team anyone really expected to be in the Open Division Championship. You know, neither Reardon or Mitty, the top 2 seeds, advancing there. It just kind of has that kids playing basketball element to it. I say kids because it's high school and it's a level below college, but you just never know what's going to happen in the playoffs.
Yeah, any team can beat anybody on any night. We say both teams are peaking. Bellarmine and Cathedral playing at the top of their games here at the perfect times. And their last 3 games have been wins against Mitty, wins against SI, wins against Reardon. Those are 3 of the top 5 teams in the WCL. So these are 2 teams playing at the top of their games, meeting tomorrow night.
Well, it should be a good one. And once again, we'll have it for you right here on the CCS Broadcasting Network. And when you preview the Division I matchup that's going to take place on Saturday, a game that you'll be calling, you're going to have Palo Alto advancing after their win over Carlmont earlier in that game. But let's say, just as a hypothetical, this score holds and Piedmont Hills advances. How does Palo Alto match up against this Piedmont Hills squad?
Yeah, I don't think there's really a more athletic team in the Division I than Piedmont Hills. So Piedmont Hills probably going to be the same strategy, try to get out and run, get in transition, and hope you can do it from the 3-point line. If you're Palo Alto on the other side, you want to just keep doing what you're doing. You're able to handedly defeat Carlmont earlier today.
Well, once again, 19-16 here. As there's about 6 minutes left on the clock. Piedmont Hills, the 3-point lead at halftime over Cupertino. So that is the preview for what's coming up next on the Central Coast Sports Broadcasting Network. But, back to the game that we've got right here. It looked there for a moment that Piedmont Hills was going to start to run away with it. They were hitting triples with guys like Isaac Teferi getting inside with players like Arduin. And then all of a sudden, a resilient Cupertino squad just answered back. How were they able to get that answer?
Yeah, I mean, if you're in the locker room right now for Cupertino, you got to be happy with how the lead is only 3 with how the way you've played. You scored 4 points only in that whole third quarter, or in that second quarter, and all 4 coming at the last 2 minutes of the quarter. On the other end, if you're Piedmont Hills, I think towards the game, what made Richard Zhang so important, and hopefully he's all right and able to play the second half, is he makes a Piedmont Hills team very one-dimensional offensively. They have been unable to drive, unable to get really a lot going on the inside, and had to rely on the 3. And when it's not falling, as we've seen Isaiah Washington miss 3 in a row, Teferi has missed 2 in a row, it allows Cupertino to come back into this game after falling down 7.
Well, we'll see what kind of adjustments, as Cupertino is now out of the locker room. We'll see what kind of adjustments each of these sides try to make. When you look at adjustments, presented by the Green Waffle, of course, people eat healthy, eat green, go green with the Green Waffle. But what do you think is the key adjustment for each side here, starting with Cupertino down by 3?
I think Cupertino offensively, you've been getting good looks for long 2s, but I think there's better looks out there. You're getting good looks, but look for great looks on the offensive end. They run that double down screen on the far block, getting either John Duan or Skylar Santos a lot of looks at the top of the key. Neither have been consistent in knocking them down. Try to see if you can find something for drivers in the lane. You have Richard Yang down there, maybe throw him some lobs up top and try to get the inside game going if you're Cupertino. If you're Piedmont Hills, try to find something other than the 3-ball. The 3-ball worked for you early. It got you the big lead, but you live and die by the 3 is how the saying goes, and don't want to die by the 3 tonight. Try to find offense inside.
Excuse me, as I put on my color headset here for a moment, one thing I'm seeing from Piedmont Hills, they're doing a great job of penetrating. They're getting in the lane, but Richard Yang has 3 blocks and, I don't know, maybe 7 contested or altered shots. Well, they're not seeing that the rotation is coming, and they're not finding the open man. I mean, anytime you have a shot blocker on the floor, generally, sometimes he blocks them in one-on-one matchups, but usually he's coming from the weak side. That's creating an opening. So if I'm head coach Tim Ewers for Piedmont Hills, I think I've got to be telling my guys, look, when we get into the lane, we've got to have our heads up. It cannot be head down. I'm going to make a move, even if it's a good move, and put up the shot no matter what. It's got to be, okay, I'm going to make a move, but I'm going to keep my head up. If I see Yang coming over, I have to trust that my guy's going to be in the right spot to where I can just make that pass without even really having to see it. And that's just a testament to the chemistry. Like, how good is your team chemistry and your ability to just make passes, trusting your teammates are going to be in the spots that they're supposed to be. But that's how you beat a great shot blocker, is you pass the ball.
And I think one thing we noticed there when Richard Yang was forced to come over and help, Piedmont Hills opened up offensively. They were able to rebound a lot better just because Yang is contesting shots, and then he's got to turn around and try to rebound. And so Piedmont Hills was able to take advantage of that and get extra shots on possession. So we'll look to see if they continue to have that advantage here in the second half.
Well, indeed we will, as we are just over 2 minutes away here from resuming action from the campus of Fremont High School in this semifinal CCS Division I matchup. The winner, of course, going to take on Palo Alto in the Division I bracket championship on Saturday afternoon at a time and location to be determined. But right now, Piedmont Hills has the 3-point edge, 19-16, as we're just about 2 minutes away here from getting back to the action. And Carlo, 1:40 on the clock now and counting. Piedmont Hills is not out of the locker room yet.
Yeah, whatever Tim Ewers is saying to his team, it will be interesting to see how they come out of this game. And remember, this is a team that lost in the Division I championship last year to a storied Los Gatos team, which saw 2 guys go D1. And so, as they've yet to come out here with 120, and we'll see maybe they come out a little flat-footed. Cupertino here had about 5 minutes to warm up, get the legs loose, get some shots up as a team that's been struggling offensively. And so it should be interesting here as now Piedmont Hills comes out of the locker room with 106.
And I mean, I understand wanting to give your guys a thorough talk through about, what types of adjustments have to be made here in the second half. But you're right, to go from playing up and down full court basketball to sitting for several minutes without doing anything, and then to be expected to come back on the court, they're not going to get any warm-up shots here.
A 4-0 run to end that second quarter. Let's see if they can ride that here in the third and take a lead.
Well, as we wrap up our Central Coast Sports halftime show, I want to give a shout-out to our friend Kevin Moore, friend of the Central Coast Sports broadcasting community. So we are getting set here to begin the second half, 19-16. Piedmont Hills with the lead. They'll come out with a little bit different, or the same starting five that they came out with at the beginning of the game. It's Caiaphas Arduin, Brandon Lowe, Andrew Lay, Isaac Teferi, and Stephen Tran. Same starting five also for Cupertino: Skylar Santos, Jack Townsend, John Dwan, Rohit Devdar, and Richard Yang, the shot blocker, on the court after taking that injury late in the first half. Piedmont Hills will have it. They'll move right to left, looking to build on their three-point lead in their first possession of the second half here in this Division I CCS semifinal matchup. Lay handles on the right wing, pump fake to pass, and he traveled. Definitely not the start that Tim Ewers wanted coming out of the second half.
Yeah, he gave that big talk to his team, and the first thing they do is come and turn the ball over. Not something you want to see. And so let's see if Piedmont Hills can find their focus here at the beginning of this third period.
And Lay wasn't even pressured on the play. Cupertino with it, moving left to right, looking to cut into a three-point deficit. Down low, looking for Santos was Devdar, but it was knocked out of bounds by Lowe. It'll stay Cupertino basketball.
And Cupertino looking for something else right out of the break other than that roll screen. Let's see if they can find the game down low.
Santos gets it in the far corner to Dwan. Now Devdar with it. He has been quiet offensively. Almost got away with a travel. Townsend drifts to the right wing, back out to Devdar. He has no interest in shooting the ball from beyond the arc. Teferi's begging him to do it. Now he throws it away. Tran with the steal. Piedmont Hills with it, moving right to left. 40 seconds gone by. They lead by 3. Piedmont Hills has it up top with Brandon Lowe. His pass is tipped, almost run down by Arduin, and he lost it out of bounds. And Piedmont Hills turns it right back over to Cupertino.
And Devdar turns it over on the offensive end, but then causes a turnover defensively. And we'll see if Cupertino, as it looked like something to notice, Lee is denying ball on Townsend. They do not want him to get the ball, and he steps out of bounds far side.
A great effort there by Lay as he does force the turnover. Townsend just stepped out of bounds, and so it's 4 turnovers in this first half. Not even a minute gone by here. Piedmont Hills still the 19-16 lead. They've got the ball moving right to left after the halftime change as head coach Tim Ewers calls out instructions to his team. Lowe handles up near the volleyball stripe. Now has a hesitation crossover. Feeds in the near corner to Arduin, who drifts up to the top. Switched into by lead with 90 seconds gone by here in the third quarter. Townsend with it for Cupertino at the other end. Almost had it taken away by Lay once again, but got it off to Dwan. He throws it back door to Townsend. Tried to hand off to Devdar. It is poked out of bounds by Lowe, and it'll stay Cupertino basketball.
And at the other end, what a layup there by Arduin. It looked like he was on his way down as he put that one up off the glass, and the first points of the second half.
It is a 5-point game. The biggest lead Piedmont Hills has had is 7. Cupertino has not led since the midway point in the first corner. Here's Devdar, left wing. Drips up top, still doesn't want to shoot. Drives to the free throw line. Now gets to the left block. Pump fake. Cut off. Now throws it back out to Santos. Right wing. Dwan with 5. Puts up a 3. Puts it in. John Dwan with a triple. He bails out Cupertino right there. It's a 2-point game, 21-19. Piedmont Hills lead is cut to 2 on the bucket by Dwan. 2 minutes gone by here in the third quarter.
And just a catch and shoot 3 from the left side. Defender in his face, but not bothering number 4. Big time 3 there for Tino.
Cupertino in kind of a matchup 2-3 zone right now. Here's Teferi, right wing, thought about a triple. He hit 2 of them in the first half. Now just up top, 10 to shoot. In and out dribble, hands off to Lay. He works the free throw line. Back out Tran, drives down the left side, up with the right hand. It's off the glass in the rim. Offensive rebound, Lay. He thought he was fouled, doesn't get the call on the missed putback. Yang the rebound for Cupertino. They control, moving right to left. Chance to Tire take the lead with a 3. Townsend, right wing. Rifles a pass to Devdar. It goes through his hands and out of bounds. It looked like Lowe might have gotten a hand on it, but the official says Devdar was the last one to touch it.
And Cupertino, that's about the third pass just in this half that they have tried to force into super tight windows, and now the first one there to be called a turnover. We'll see if Cupertino continues to try to push the ball in small windows.
Approaching 3 minutes gone by here in the third quarter. 21-19, Piedmont Hills the 2-point lead. They have the ball. Moving right to left, this is Ardoin. Feeds Washington, who just checked back into the game. Ardoin gets it back. And Piedmont Hills will reset. Ardoin drives down the right side and lays it in off the glass. Caiaphas Ardoin with the bucket, and it's a 4-point lead, 23-19, and a steal at the other end by Lowe. He's charging the other way down the right side. Euro step, right-handed layup short off the glass. Offensive rebound, putbacks no good by Teferi. And now Cupertino with it. They move left to right in what has become a hectic sequence. And now Santos will back it out near the logo for Cupertino. 23-19, they trail. Backdoor Dwan to Devdar on the right block, and he lays it in. It was a beautiful cut by Dwan, who found Devdar on the weak side. 2-point game, 23-21. Piedmont Hills the 2-point lead in the ball as we approach the midway point here in the third quarter. Piedmont Hills struggling against the zone here in the last couple of minutes. Here's Teferi. Drives down the right side. He's bumped and he goes down in a foul. And that is going to be the first team foul of the second half. It's going to be on Rohit Devdar. That'll be his second personal foul.
And it's Teferi just putting his head down, driving in the lane. Took a bad spill after. And they're going to say he wasn't going up, so it'll be underneath basketball here for Piedmont Hills.
Isaac Teferi checks out of the game in favor of Jordan Scott. He will inbound from the far baseline, fresh 35, as we approach the midway point here in the third quarter. Piedmont Hills with the ball, moving right to left, looking to build on a 2-point lead. Near corner, Ardoin tries a triple off the side of the backboard. A parent next to me says he can't shoot. He's not able to on that one. And Cupertino with the ball, moving left to right. Chance to Tire take the lead, trailing by 2. Devdar, right wing, probing, still wanting no part of any kind of jumper. Now drives the left side, throws far corner to Santos, who now drifts back up top in a reset for the Cupertino offense. Devdar with it, drifts right off the screen from Yang. Now feeds Santos, left elbow, back to Devdar, free throw line, 2-pointer, long off the heel, rebound tipped and claimed by Scott, and Piedmont Hills with the ball moving right to left, looking to build on a 2-point lead, 3:20 to play here in the third.
And Devdar finally took that first shot, and he's been hearing it from the Piedmont Hills student section all night.
Here's Washington now on the right wing, between the legs dribble, poked away by Santos. Here comes Cupertino, 2-on-1 with Devdar. Pulls up, 8-footer, left wing, short, or long off the heel. Rebound comes to Townsend. His free throw line jumper is short. Rebound Scott for Piedmont Hills. They now have it pushing right to left. We're under 3 to play here in the third quarter, and Tim Ewers wants time.
With coast-to-coast footprint of over 300 U.S.-based production sites, you can see why Vulcan Materials is an essential part of our country's makeover, including road and bridge repair, construction of office buildings, schools, hospitals, and more. Giving back to our community and shaping our future, visit vulcanmaterials.com. San Jose's Hot Country, 95.3 KRTY, not only the best in today's country music, but offering the best in local sports. KRTY is the South Bay home of the Golden State Warriors, as well as great partners with Central Coast Sports Broadcasting for high school sports in the South Bay. For more information, go to their website at www.krty.com. Outfitters of Nike, Under Armour, and other national brands, there is only one team with the best supply network in high school athletics, BSN Sports. Give John Gillette a call today, 408-209-6433, or check out their website at bsnsports.com.
So 2:52 to play here in the third quarter. It's Piedmont Hills 23, Cupertino 21. A bid in the CCS Division I championship game Saturday afternoon is on the line. And Carlo, it's been a hectic affair here in the last couple minutes.
Yeah, Piedmont Hills playing at the pace they want to play at, and Cupertino is going to continue to play at the pace that's been successful for them so far. And so we'll see if it continues to be a hectic game.
Navalta, Garcia check back in. Navalta had it taken away by Devdar at the defensive end. He averages 1.2 a game. He's holding up a 4 because that is his 4th steal of the night. Here's D1, back up Devdar, works around to the left wing to Santos now, who's harassed by Navalta, who just checked back into the game. Cupertino works it around right wing. D1, left elbow, drives, baseline, pump fake, jumps into his man, draws the foul. He's going to go to the line for 2 free throws. Foul is going to be on Elijah Washington, the sophomore, and John D1 with a James Harden special right there, or a Dwayne Wade special, going to the free throw line.
Yeah, pump fake, get your guy in the air, and then jump into him. Washington, only a sophomore, definitely learning his lesson there as the senior teaches him a few tricks.
And how about Rohit Devdar at the other end? 4 steals tonight. He's been hounding the Piedmont Hills guards as a couple of substitutions to Ferry and Lay check back in for Piedmont Hills in favor of Navalta and Scott. So knocks down a pair, does John D1. It's a tie game at 23. 2.5 to play here in the 3rd quarter. Piedmont Hills with the ball, moving right to left. It's Low. He has yet to come out of this game, it seems. Lay now collects and moves up to the top of the key, works it around the perimeter. Far corner to Ferry, puts up a 3. Short, rebound high in the air, tipped by Lang, but Ardoin comes away with it for Piedmont Hills and scores. And it's a 2-point lead once again. 2 minutes to play. Tim Uri wants full court pressure, which Cupertino routinely breaks. Cupertino with it, moving left to right, trailing by 2. Trapped on the baseline is Santos, and he had it taken away by Low. Here comes Piedmont Hills, under 2 to play. They lead by 2, 25-23, and Cupertino once again sets up this zone. Piedmont Hills looking to build on a 2-point lead. It has not been bigger than that for the last several minutes. The largest lead they've had tonight has been 7. They have not held it for much time. They're working around the perimeter against the zone of Cupertino right now up around the perimeter to Ferry, back to Low, 10 to shoot. Up top with the right-hand dribble, hands off to Lay, moving left to Ferry in the left corner, lost the ball, works up to the free throw line, drives, right-handed floater is no good. Rebound snatched by Devdar, who falls down but is able to get back up. Piedmont Hills wanted a travel but did not get it. Cupertino with the ball, chance to tie or take the lead. Here's Santos, drives right baseline, kicks it back out, taken away by Ardoin for Piedmont Hills. Minute to play now in the 3rd quarter, 25-23, the Pirates lead.
Santos, 2nd time so far, he's driven into that right short corner and turned the ball over right away.
And it has been high-pressure defense for Piedmont Hills that has been encouraged by their head coach, Tim Uri. Here's Ardoin, right block, turns around his left shoulder and flips it in with the right hand. It's 4 straight points for Piedmont Hills after it was a tie game, 27-23 with 35 seconds left here in the 3rd quarter. Townsend looking to answer at the other end, hands off to D1, who hit a big triple earlier in this 3rd quarter. And this pass is knocked out of bounds by Low. It came from Santos. 20 seconds on the shot clock, still 6-second difference. Shot and game clock. Cupertino with the ball moving left to right. They trail by 4, 27-23 as Garcia checks out for Piedmont Hills. Stephen Tran comes back into the game for head coach Tim Ewers. Cupertino with it. They're going to move left to right. Townsend has it up top. It is now high intensity, pushed out pressure for Piedmont Hills that Cupertino's having to deal with here. They've turned it over a couple to be. That shot will not count as Townsend let fly a left corner 3, but he got it off well after the shot clock read 0 with 3.7 seconds left here in the 3rd quarter. Another turnover for the Piedmont Hills defense.
Yeah, and it has gotten a little louder and a lot more intense in here, Spencer. The Piedmont Hills chanting defense when Cupertino's on offense, and Piedmont is playing aggressive defensively. They are swarming the ball every time, hands in the passing lanes, and talking on defense, and that has been a problem for Cupertino all night.
Navalta and Washington check back into the game for Piedmont Hills. They put 6.1 seconds on the game clock now after it was 3.7 a moment ago. So Cupertino will have it, inbounding from the far sideline, moving right to left, looking to build on a 4-point lead. Here's Low, cut off, almost picked up his dribble. Across the timeline, Ardoin puts up a deep left wing 3. It's long, no good. 27-23 is where the score will stay as we head into the 4th quarter.
And Piedmont Hills able to close the quarter out on a 4-0 run. entering our 10th year with the most live coverage of high school sports in the Bay Area. We are Central Coast Sports Broadcasting. Big shout out to our broadcasters and sponsors who continue to give back to our community with the best in high school athletics. For the latest updates and scheduling, check out our website at centralcoastsports.live. You can also follow us on Facebook at Central Coast Sports Broadcasting.
Yeah, shout out to the broadcasters of Central Coast Sports Broadcasting. We go, Carlo.
Go us.
Go us. Time now for the Green Waffle in-game summary. You need a snack, a quick or healthy protein fix? All natural, 9 grams of power-packed protein. The Green Waffle. For a complete list of locations and more info on this dynamic product, go to their website, thegreenwaffle.com. Eat clean, go green. And, you know, we talked about in the pregame how Piedmont Hills might want to get out and transition. One way they're doing it right now has been at the defensive end.
Yeah, they're getting steals and being able to run, and we've seen Lowe with a couple steals so far. Arden has a couple steals. Every time Cupertino drives, Piedmont Hills is there to double or put pressure in that guy's face. It is making it very hard for them to drive and kick as they move. We saw Richard Yang almost catch a pass at the volleyball line. When Piedmont Hills went 2-3, they're forcing the offense higher, making it harder for guys to drive, and when they do drive, they're doubling right there. So Piedmont Hills, the advantage on a 4-0 run coming out of this quarter. Big couple of minutes here to begin the fourth.
Head coach Tim Ewers for Piedmont Hills encouraging his team, gets a sip of water to rest his voice. Cupertino will have the ball, moving left to right. They trail 27-23 here, trying to move on to the Division I CCS championship game on Saturday afternoon. Once again, extended pressure from Piedmont Hills. Santos feeds Townsend in the far corner. Now he's cut off by Arduin, picks up his dribble and finds Yang. He's cut off by Teferi. He finds Townsend on the far baseline. They have got nothing going right now. Devdar gets a skip pass on the near baseline, missed the 12-footer. Rebound Piedmont Hills. They push right to left, leading by 4. 27-23, 30 seconds gone by here in the fourth quarter. Piedmont Hills looking to advance in this semifinal matchup. It's Lowe. He's not done a lot of shooting, but he's done a lot of facilitating for Piedmont Hills tonight. He's got it back on the left wing. Now he tries a triple. It's off the side of the rim. Rebound Dwan for Cupertino. He started pushing left to right, but realized that he didn't have numbers.
Yeah, and this is a Cupertino 5 that has played the whole game. No subs so far for the Cupertino team. So Dwan's going to slow it up, try to give his guys some rest.
Townsend handed off to Dwan in the near corner. He missed the 3 short, barely grazed the iron. Tran, comes away with the rebound for Piedmont Hills, who slowly push it right to left, nursing a 4-point lead. 27-23, over a minute gone by here in the fourth. Lay working at the right elbow, bullies his way down, lost the ball off of his foot. It is out of bounds, and another turnover for Piedmont Hills as Elijah Washington checks back into the game in favor of Andrew Lay.
Yeah, and that's 2 possessions in a row. You had the 3 there by Lowe off a kind of stagnant offensive set, and then the turnover. Piedmont Hills not moving the ball around offensively very well.
Cupertino able to beat the pressure in the backcourt at least from Piedmont Hills, but struggling with it in the front court. It's Dwan on the right wing. He works it around the perimeter now to Devdar, and it goes far corner. Townsend back to Santos, taken away by Tran, who traveled as he got happy feet. Tim Ewers was ready to encourage his team on the fast break and gave one of those expressions of, oh, that was an opportunity.
Yeah, and this 2-3 zone has been problematic here for Cupertino. They are playing up. They're playing in the passing lanes. If you're Cupertino, you need touch passes. You need to move the ball quickly, look for the skips on the opposite side. But the middle guy on the 2-3 is at the free throw line here for Piedmont Hills. They are making this offense start way up top.
They are leaving that baseline wide open. Indeed, Cupertino is working around, but not able to find any kind of opening. Skip pass far court to Santos. Back to Dwan at the free throw line. Puts up a jumper and knocks it down. Finally, a bucket there for Cupertino. That cuts the deficit to 2. Over 2 minutes gone by here in the fourth quarter. Piedmont Hills leads 27-25. They've got the ball moving right to left. Here's Lowe, crossover on the right wing, or on the left wing, now drives baseline, cut off, throws it back out, and the 5th steal of the night is come away with by Devdar. Here comes Cupertino, left to right. Chance to take the lead. Devdar near quarter. Dwan for 3. Bang! John Dwan with a triple, and Cupertino with their first lead since the first quarter, 28-27. 2.5 gone by here in the fourth quarter.
And what a shot. As for when you need a big bucket, call number 4. He has hit big one after big one tonight. John Dwan for Cupertino.
Teferi with it up top, and they're going to get him for a carry as he worked up top against the 2-3 zone of Cupertino, and momentum starting to sway in favor of the Pioneers.
Yeah, Cupertino now with an opportunity. They just grabbed their first lead, as you mentioned, since the first minutes of the first quarter. Now can they expand on it? Can they make it more than a one-possession ball game and start to take advantage here at Piedmont High School?
Andrew Lay checks back into the game for Elijah Washington for head coach Tim Ewers and Piedmont Hills. Cupertino with the ball, their first lead since the first quarter. Yang, left corner, he's got a triple! Richard Yang, has given Cupertino their largest lead of the night, 31-27. Just over 3 minutes gone by here in the fourth quarter, and the crowd is loving it. Low, lobs down low, Arduin at the right block, one dribble pickup, and now Piedmont Hills works it back around to the left wing. This is Lay, up top to Low, back to Lay, left wing, jab step, handles at the right hip, hop steps into the lane, goes up with the right-handed floater, hits off the heel, and drops for Andrew Lay. That trims the deficit to 2 for Piedmont Hills. Breaking the pressure is Cupertino. Yuan bounces to Yang, got it back, and then scores, does John Duan. So it is a 4-point lead once again, 33-29, as we approach the midway point here in the fourth quarter.
And Cupertino, they have been a team we talked about. Maybe they want to play slow. No, they did not take our advice at all. They've been playing fast and getting buckets offensively.
Piedmont Hills looking to cut to a 4-point deficit. Teferi, left wing, he knocks down a triple. Nothing but net for Isaac Teferi. It's a 1-point game, 33-32. A steal on the baseline. Low could make the layup, but Arduin does. 1-point lead for Piedmont Hills. Their defense doing it again, 34-33. Townsend now dribbles on the left side, and it's a blocking foul going to be called on Isaac Teferi. What a hectic sequence here in the last 60 seconds.
And I'm surprised we have not seen a timeout from either. And here it is. So there's your
nice
timeout. Because you mentioned it has been hectic and starting to get a little sloppy here for both teams. Published quarterly for 30 years, don't miss the combination of business and lifestyle articles that affect the agricultural industry. Pick up a copy of Coastal Grower Magazine today or subscribe via coastalgrowermag.com. And authentic quality dishes with local ingredients, a uniquely seasoned crust, and prepared fresh daily Pomodoro Pizza in the Almaden Valley. A great place for great food on game night or any day of the week. Visit them at 6932 Almaden Expressway, San Jose, or click the website, PomodoroPizzaAlmaden.com, to place your order.
Any day of the week and any time of day in my book. But game reset here, 3:42 to play here in the fourth quarter, 34-33. Piedmont Hills the 1-point lead. They trailed by 4 a moment ago before a 5-0 run in about 10 seconds after Isaac Teferi's third triple of the night, and then Lowe got the steal in the backcourt. He couldn't finish. Arduin was able to, and once again, defense leading to offense for Piedmont Hills.
Yeah, Piedmont Hills, their press was successful earlier in this half. They're going back to it here, and it's for Cupertino. We talked about Piedmont Hills, the need to get out in transition. Their ability to get out in transition has earned them buckets, while it's been Piedmont Hills' defense that's really caused Cupertino problems. So a little bit of a flip script here tonight.
We'll see what Craig Elgood has for offensive adjustments against this pushed out 2-3 zone for Piedmont Hills. Cupertino with the ball moving left to right. Townsend splits a double team, rifles a pass, left block to Yang, who goes up and scores.
You mentioned it earlier. They leave the baseline wide open with that high 2-3, and good job by Cupertino seeing that opening and getting the bucket to take the lead.
Cupertino back on top, 35-34, 3:20 to play here in the ball. They push left to right, looking to build on a 1-point lead. 3 minutes to play now in the ball game.
Look for them to attack once again that baseline. Richard Zhang has been wide open a couple times down at the block.
Far corner, this is Santos with it as the Cupertino guards frantically working around the perimeter against an aggressive Piedmont Hills defense. They've got a 1-point lead. Townsend drives into the near corner. Yang ball whips around. Santos left wing. Triple is around and out. It was halfway down for Skylar Santos, but Piedmont Hills, the rebound, they push right to left, a chance to regain the lead. 2.5 to play now in the ball game.
And it is back and forth basketball. Every possession matters. You need great shots if you're Piedmont Hills.
Piedmont Hills has struggled a little bit on offense recently. Here's Lowe, rifles it near corner. Arduin puts up a 3, puts it in. Caiaphas Arduin gives Piedmont Hills a 2-point lead, 37-35. We approach 2 minutes to play here in the ball game. Piedmont Hills back on top. Lowe had it. Lowe poked it away from Duan. Here comes Lay, charging on the right side, hops through and lays it in with the right hand. Andrew Lay with the bucket. It's a 4-point lead for Piedmont Hills. Cupertino with the ball, bring it up against the pressure. Another turnover as now they get it across to Yang, and Dwan has it back up top, and a travel is going to be called. John Dwan got the pass back from Richard Yang, had a little bit of happy feet, shuffled him, and the official caught it. So now with 1:53 left on the clock, it's 39-35. Piedmont Hills the lead, and the basketball moving right to left. Chance to build on a 4-point lead late in the game.
And Cupertino hasn't looked comfortable since Piedmont Hills started to put the press on, and it continues to give them problems. Great job by the Pirates so far.
Here's Brandon Lowe on the right wing, feeds Washington up top, hop step into the lane. Right-handed floater is good from the left block. Elijah Washington, the sophomore, with a bucket. He's calm as a senior right there. He's given Piedmont Hills a 6-point lead, 90 seconds to play, and this pass is thrown away. Townsend was trying to get it to Yang. He overthrew it, and Tran ran it down for Piedmont Hills, who can now slow it up and work this clock under a minute here with a 6-point lead, and they're going to call a timeout.
On your ride home, tune in to the Central Coast Sports postgame show. Stats, insight, interviews, and more. Make sure you listen to the Central Coast Sports Player of the Game, all part of Central Coast Sports postgame show. Keep us here on your ride home, and don't miss our next broadcast tomorrow night. We will be at Santa Clara Spencer's home, and we will
Not yet alma mater.
Not yet alma. I was gonna go there.
Give
soon.
it 15-ish months.
There you go.
Give it 15 months, hopefully, assuming I don't flunk out of my classes. That would be very bad.
That'd be bad. 41-35 as Cupertino has started to fall apart. Piedmont Hills turning on the heat. And how about Isaiah Washington with that layup to make it a 6-point game over Richard Yang?
Yeah, and I mean, it was really a tough shot there for Elijah Washington, but like you said, Piedmont Hills will have the ball right in front of us here, sideline out of bounds in their own half of the front court, moving right to left, 41-35, 1:17 to play here in the ball game. Teferi will inbound, tries to get it. Now he's going to call a timeout because he was unable to. Great denial defense there from Cupertino.
Yeah, Cupertino did a great job forcing Piedmont Hills to use a timeout. I believe that only gives them one more so far tonight, and so now you need a defensive stop. With these 35-second shot clock, Spencer, you have enough time mathematically to get 2 possessions off, but it won't be a lot, and you're going to have to play the defense. So we'll see what Tim Ewers draws up for his Piedmont Hills team. Would not be surprised if we see another flare screen for Isaiah Washington.
Yeah, and Isaac Teferi right there was the guy inbounding the ball. It looked like he had Stephen Tran open for a moment, but then decided not to pull the trigger. And right after he called the timeout, an assistant coach for Piedmont Hills came right over to him and said, that was an opening. He was open. So we'll see if Teferi's taking it out once again as he and Tran are having a conversation about the previous play. It's Teferi, Tran, Arduin, the sophomore, Washington, and Lowe handles in the backcourt for Piedmont Hills. Brings it across the timer, guarded by Townsend up top. Cupertino now in a man-to-man defense. Down low, Arduin, left block, turns up, right-handed floater, no good, but a foul. Arduin pounds his chest 3 times, saying that is all me. He is going to the free throw line, a chance to build on Piedmont Hills' 6-point lead.
And number 1 might not be the strongest or the biggest player on the court, but I'll tell you one thing, he's got the most heart out there tonight. He's been active on the offensive glass. He's been a threat inside, contorting his body to finish some of these layups, and now a chance to make it very tough for Cupertino with 1:08 to play.
Caiaphas Arduin, a second-year varsity player on the free throw line. The senior rims out the first one, so it remains a 6-point game. Substitution here. Elijah Washington checks out for Piedmont Hills in favor of Andrew Lay. For Cupertino, it is Santos, Yang, Dwan. It looks like that's Townsend and Devdar on the court, the same 5 they've had for some time. Also their starting 5. Arduin misses the second free throw short. Rebound snatched out of the air by Dwan. Cupertino catches a break there at the free throw line. A minute to play. They got away with a travel a little bit. Dwan runs a man down, and it's going to be a blocking foul. As he was right here in front of his own bench. He ran down it looked like it was Andrew Lay or Lowe. I couldn't tell which one was on the ground. Both jersey numbers end in 4, but it is a blocking foul nonetheless. So Cupertino basketball, they move left to right. Exactly a minute to play here in the ballgame. They get it into Santos. Up top, near quarter, Dewan tries a 3. He's fouled as the ball hits the side of the backboard, and John Dewan going to the free throw line for a gift, and Caiaphas Ardoin making a crucial mistake right there.
Yeah, Dewan now has to hit these 3 free throws, 56.8 to play. We just saw Ardoin miss 2 crucial ones that probably could have iced this game, and so one game comes down to free throws a lot of the time, and we'll see if Cupertino is able to convert theirs.
John Dewan, the 5'11 senior, shoots at about 50% from the floor, has to deal with the bleachers noise, and he's got nothing but net on the first free throw, as the Cupertino fans, who appear to be outnumbered here tonight in this neutral site playoff location. So it is now, the scoreboard says a 7-point game, but they gave that point to the wrong team. That should be, that should, as several parents are now informing the scoreboard operator of the error. He's actually sitting right in front of me. I wonder if he heard me.
Maybe you're affecting the game,
maybe
Spencer.
maybe I am secretly.
You're not even in it.
Well, it's a 6-point game right now. 2 more free throws coming for Dewan. He knocks down the second one. He'll have 1 more coming.
Got a little offense for defense substitution right here. They'll get Washington in for Lee.
So Lay checks out in favor of Washington, the sophomore. Lay, the 5'9 junior, but Coach Tim Ewers trusts in his young sophomore late in this game. Dewan knocks down all 3 free throws. It's a 3-point game, 41-38, 57 seconds. Ball's in the far corner with Lowe. He's trapped. Townsend almost took it away, hangs in the air, throws ahead to Ardoin, and he's all alone. He's going to coast to the bucket for an easy right-handed layup. A defensive breakdown for Cupertino. It's a 5-point game, 43-38. Piedmont Hills the lead, and in the backcourt, Lowe fouls Dewan. It's not going to be free throws. Brandon Lowe thought he was taking that ball away. That's a tough call right there.
That was very close, but what a pass on the break. Jumping in the air, double clutch, threw it down the sideline. Cupertino's got to have somebody back behind everyone when you're pressing, and nobody there. An easy 2 for the Pirates.
I actually don't hate the strategy, because that was a really tough pass that Lowe was able to throw to Ardoin. And so Cupertino will have it moving left to right. 40 seconds to play. They trail by 5, 43-38. Townsend, left wing, feeds Dewan. He puts up a triple. It's good. John Dewan with another 3. He's got 6 straight points for Cupertino. It's a 2-point game, and a travel is called on Brandon Lowe. Piedmont Hills turns it over. Tim Ewers can't believe it, but Cupertino, with 24 seconds on the clock, will have a chance to tie or take the lead.
What a shot by John Dewan, and it's going to be timeout Cupertino's.
Craig Elgood calls time. His team was down 7 a moment ago. It is now a 2-point game. They've done that in less than a minute. It was 41 or 42 to 35 or 41 to 35. Excuse me. So it was a 6-point game, and then the 3 where Dewan got fouled, he knocks down all 3 free throws, then buries a triple from the far side, the opposite of where he shot the 3 where he got fouled. And then the travel in the backcourt was called, I believe it was on Brandon Lowe, as he let the pass go, just kind of shuffled the feet a little bit, and enough of an extra step in there. So Cupertino will have the ball coming out of the timeout. They'll be inbounding on the sideline from right in front of their own bench. They trail by 2, 43-41. Piedmont Hills still clinging to a 2-point lead. The ball is inbounded to Santos. He handles up with the logo. It is that zone. Townsend, right wing, drives to the baseline, hangs in the air. Floater off the glass, comes off the rim. Rebound Piedmont Hills. Ardoin has it now, and he's trying to dribble out the clock. Throws across court to Lowe. Up ahead to Lay, and Lay is fouled. It looked like Jack Townsend had a pretty good look. It was well defended on the play. Great job by Piedmont Hills to not foul in that situation.
And the tough thing here now, if you're Cupertino, is that's only your 2nd or your 3rd team foul of the game. So you got to foul 4 more times in the next 8.8 seconds to put Piedmont Hills on the free throw line.
It is going to use a lot of clock, so they're going to have to try to go for a turnover right here. Teferi is inbounding with Yang in front of him. Sideline out of bounds in front of his own bench. Gets it into lay. He's fouled right there by Townsend. And that is going to be the 4th team foul. 7.8 seconds now. So if you figure a second per foul, there's not going to be a lot of time. And Cupertino is going to need some misses at the free throw line. Teferi will inbound once again. Sideline out of bounds just at the end of his own bench in his own front court side. Piedmont Hills moving right to left. Gets it in the backcourt to Lowe. He's fouled immediately. Only 0.7 of a second go off the clock right there. So 7.1 left. That's the 5th team foul as Townsend swatted Lowe on the arm and got a little bit of his eye as well. He looks to be okay. But now in the backcourt, Teferi will inbound once again, gets it into Lowe, who does a crossover on Townsend, throws it up ahead to Tran, and he is fouled at midcourt, and that crossover move by Brandon Lowe cost Cupertino about 3 seconds of time.
Yeah, about 3.5. Big time move there by Lowe, able to pass it up court, and now Tino has one more foul they have to give. I wonder if you can foul on the inbound here and just hold a jersey and then force them to shoot free throws instead of waiting for them to inbound the basketball.
Well, I think you could move into intentional foul territory right there, but I'm not sure what the rule is for that. But nonetheless, Teferi will inbound from the far sideline, lobs it ahead to Arduin, and he's fouled immediately by Devdar. That's going to be his 4th, I believe. And so Caiaphas Arduin, who just missed 2 free throws a couple possessions ago, will be at the free throw line trying to ice the game. There's 2.6 seconds left on the game clock, 43-41. Piedmont Hills clinging to a 2-point lead. Caiaphas Arduin on the line, the 5'11 senior and second-year varsity player, and you got to think those 2 missed free throws are weighing on his mind.
Yeah, and 1-on-1 situation here. If he misses the first or the second, Spencer, that's going to take about a half a second off the clock before Cupertino is able to call time when they get the rebound. So Cupertino really will only have about 2 seconds, if that. If Arduin's able to make both, though, it's a 4-point game and would be a very tough opportunity.
And Cupertino going to have to box out here and hope for misses as well. 2 free throws would ice the game with just 2.6 seconds left on the game clock. But we'll see if Caiaphas Arduin can do that at the free throw line, as Piedmont Hills not quite out of their timeout. And now the buzzer sounds, and Arduin will have to step up to the free throw line. So if you're Cupertino, you have to box out and know that with 1 timeout left, once you get that ball, you're calling it immediately.
Yeah, and it looked like Cupertino went and told the referees, hey, if it comes down for a rebound, we're calling timeout right as we grab the ball. So no need for them really to even call it. The referees are going to know that they want a timeout.
Arduin at the free throw line. Cupertino faithful trying to distract him. The free throw is up, and it's good. Hit just a little bit of the back iron, and Tim Ewers now telling no fouls on a make or miss. 2.6 seconds is a 3-point lead for Piedmont Hills. Another free throw coming for Caiaphas Arduin. He can ice the game with a make right here. It is on the way, and it's good. Arduin is all but iced the game. Cupertino with it out of bounds. Townsend runs up the left side, throws it ahead to Devdar. He doesn't get a 3-point off, and that is how the ball game is going to end. Final score 45-41. Piedmont Hills pulls out a gutsy victory over Cupertino.
And what clutch free throws there from Arduin. He had just missed the 2, as you mentioned, able to hit the biggest 2 of the night and make it a 4-point win, as Piedmont Hills will go back to the CCS Division I Open Championship and play Palo Alto on Saturday.
And now we bring you the Central Coast Sports Player of the Game, all part of the Central Coast Sports post-game show. So keep us right here for the next couple minutes. Carlo, it's hard to pick one guy. I think that if Cupertino had won this game, it would clearly be John Dwan, who was effective all night long and hit some big shots at the free throw line and from beyond the arc as well. But my personal player of the game, I got to give it to Brandon Lowe for Piedmont Hills. I don't think he's going to come away with the most prolific stats, but his leadership and consistent presence and burning clock here at the end with that crossover, I mean, he just made crucial plays at the right times.
Yeah, play after play, was a consistent player all night, able to throw that one pass right down the sideline where it looked like Cupertino was going to get a trap and a steal, and then, as you mentioned, the crossover to take off 3 seconds. Sometimes you don't need to score the most points, but if you're consistent throughout the game, that can be the biggest thing for a team.
And not only did he burn a couple extra seconds in the backcourt before getting it to Tran at the midcourt line before he was fouled, but he also had that miraculous pass from the far corner falling out of bounds up ahead to Arduin, who got an easy 2 out of it. It's those kind of plays that make him the player of the game.
Well, we want to give a shout out to all our sponsors. Special thanks to Netafim Drip Irrigation, Gonzalez Irrigation Systems, Coastal Grower Magazine, Block Construction, BSN Sports, Pomodoro Pizza, Vulcan Materials, Kevin Moore, Arnie von Massenhausen, and, of course, the Green Waffle. Big shout out also to Fremont High School for their hospitality, Piedmont Hills and Cupertino High School, and the Central Coast section, and both the SCVAL and the BVAL. 2 terrific teams here tonight. And also shout out to 95.3 KRTY, San Jose's Hot Country, not only bringing you the very best in today's country music, but offering high school sports as well as being the South Bay home for your Golden State Warriors. Thanks to Nate Deaton, Nicole Woodson, and Jamie Paul. For more information, go to their website at krty.com.
Well, make sure you tune in for our next CCSB broadcast tomorrow night. The Open Championship, February 22nd, 8:30 p.m. will be the tip-off at Santa Clara University. Carlo and myself will have the call. Once again, final score, Piedmont Hills 45, Cupertino 41. Piedmont Hills earns a trip to the CCS Division I championship game against Palo Alto. That will take place on Saturday afternoon. 45-41 the final. For Carlo Jimenez, I'm Spencer McLaughlin saying good night, and thanks for tuning in to Central Coast Sports Broadcasting.